A nursery rhyme floats through the centuries like a whisper. Hey diddle diddle. The cat and the fiddle. What if these playful words hid something deeper, something darker? We often think of nursery rhymes as harmless, but many are coded messages, veiled histories, or echoes of scandal. This one might be no different. If the strange and mysterious calls to you, you're in the right place. Subscribe to the Silent Lodge to uncover forgotten truths and cryptic legends. We journey into the shadows, where rhyme meets reality. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed. It sounds like nonsense, but it may be an ancient map, a star chart disguised as poetry. The rhyme likely dates to the 16th century, but images of cats with fiddles appear in medieval manuscripts centuries earlier. Could this rhyme be older than anyone guessed? The phrase "over the moon" comes from this very rhyme. It once meant pure elation, but even joy can hide secrets. One theory suggests this rhyme was a mnemonic, a way for farmers to track time by the stars. Each character matches a constellation. The cat becomes Leo, the fiddle, Lyra, the cow, Taurus, the little dog, Canis Minor. Even the dish and spoon align with stars like the Big Dipper. When these constellations align near the moon, it may have signaled the perfect time to plant crops, an agricultural calendar hidden in rhyme. In a time when few could read, memorized rhymes were lifelines. They passed down vital knowledge in song, just like ABCs today. Hey Diddle Diddle may have been a farmer's guide. There's no proof that this theory is true, but it's a glimpse into the power of oral tradition. How stories once taught survival beneath the stars. In Tudor England, behind stone walls and velvet curtains, a queen endured in silence. Catherine of Aragon, the first wife of King Henry VIII, was secluded in a birthing chamber during the winter of 1518. She was 8 months pregnant. Anxious, hopeful, and painfully aware this may be her final chance to give the king a male heir. The chamber was cloaked in near total darkness. Heavy tapestries covered the windows, meant to mimic the warm's warmth and stillness. Only a single slit of daylight was permitted through, just enough to avoid harming the queen's sensitive eyes. Within that hushed space, only women moved. No man dared enter. It was a sacred place of secrecy and prayer, and Catherine, devout and weary, labored alone. The outcome was devastating. The child, a girl, was stillborn. Her final chance at securing her place as queen had slipped away. Catherine had suffered multiple failed pregnancies. Of all her children with Henry, only one survived infancy, a daughter named Mary, and with no male heir. Catherine's influence at court began to fade. Worse still, Henry believed this misfortune was divine punishment for marrying his brother's widow. Whispers of annulment grew louder. Henry's affection cooled into blame, and in the early 1520s, a new figure rose to the forefront, Anne Boleyn, and was clever, captivating, and dangerously ambitious. As Catherine's lady-in-waiting, she had front row access to the king, and she used it well. Unlike others, Anne refused to become Henry's mistress. She demanded a crown, not a compromise. And eventually, Henry gave in. He turned away from Catherine, his queen of 2 decades, to chase a younger, hungrier vision of legacy. Here's where the rhyme reemerges. Some suggest that the dish ran away with the spoon is no accident. Anne, the spoon, seduces and steals away the dish, Henry himself. Meanwhile, the faithful cat is left behind, playing her fiddle, perhaps a symbol of sorrow or of loyalty ignored. Catherine never surrendered her title. Even after her marriage was annulled and she was exiled from court, she signed every letter as Catherine the Queen. In her final message to Henry, she addressed him with heartbreaking grace, "My most dear Lord King and husband." She became known in whispers and in prayer as Catherine la Fidèle, Catherine the Faithful. And some believe she lives on in the rhyme as the cat, alone, devoted, and quietly defiant. Was she diddled out of her crown, her family, her dignity? Perhaps the word in the rhyme, diddle, carries more than playfulness. Perhaps, in its simple syllables, lies a legacy of betrayal. Long after Catherine of Aragon was cast aside, something curious began appearing across England, taverns bearing the name the Cat and Fiddle. Were they mere coincidence, or quiet symbols of loyalty to a queen many still saw as rightful? These pubs often stood in Catholic communities, where Catherine's name still stirred devotion. It's possible the name Cat and Fiddle became a secret code, an act of resistance wrapped in ale and music. But we must tread carefully. No definitive proof links these taverns to Catherine, though the timing and symbolism feel far from accidental. Another theory links the rhyme not to royal intrigue, but to an Old English pub game called Tipcat. In this game, a small piece of wood, called the cat, was struck into the air with a stick, then hit again mid-air for distance. It was fast-paced, chaotic, and often played in circles marked on the ground. In one version, players ran between bases before the cat was retrieved and thrown back. Sound familiar? Some believe this early pastime is a direct ancestor of games like cricket, rounders, and even baseball. Could Hey Diddle Diddle have been inspired by the excitement of such games? The idea isn't so strange. Many nursery rhymes have roots in musical or traditional games. If children were chanting the rhyme while watching, or even playing, the game, its verses may simply reflect that moment of joy and chaos. In this light, the rhyme begins to shift. The cat is literal, a piece of wood flying through the air. The fiddle, music played in the background, as was common in taverns. The cow jumping over the moon might describe players leaping over circular bases, symbolic moons drawn into the dirt. The little dog laughed to see such sport takes on a charming double meaning. It may reflect the joy of a game well played, or perhaps it's a moral lesson to enjoy play, but also to value fairness and fun over victory. Even the dish and spoon running away gains new meaning here. Picture players so immersed in their game that they forget their meal. The dish and spoon, taken by the innkeeper before they return, a moment lost to merriment. While whimsical, this theory offers a beautiful alternative, a community's joy turned into rhyme, a game of motion, laughter, and light-hearted mischief, preserved forever in song. Still, no theory has proven definitive, and perhaps that's the point. Rhyme and riddle often walk hand in hand, leaving just enough room for wonder. The Tudor court was a glittering world. Ornate gowns, hushed secrets, and eyes that watched everything. Queen Elizabeth I ruled with intelligence and iron will. But within her court, behind gilded doors, love often bloomed where it wasn't allowed. Elizabeth herself was known as the cat among her ministers, a nickname earned for her clever playfulness and unpredictable nature. She delighted in teasing her court, keeping everyone just a little off balance. She also called Robert Dudley, the Earl of Leicester, her little lapdog. The little dog in the rhyme may refer to him, always close, always loyal. Some historians believe he and Elizabeth shared more than just political ambition. Then we arrive at the most puzzling pair, the dish and the spoon. According to court tradition, the dish might have referred to a male servant who carried ceremonial plates during royal banquets. The spoon, on the other hand, was sometimes a lady-in-waiting tasked with tasting the queen's food to check for poison. It's here that legend takes hold. Whispers speak of a forbidden romance between a dish and a spoon to palace staff members who fell in love beneath the queen's watchful gaze. Their affair was dangerous, daring, and ultimately doomed. But perhaps the most compelling tale doesn't concern just staff. It concerns Lady Catherine Grey, sister to Lady Jane Grey, and her secret love for Edward Seymour, the Earl of Hertford. Catherine was young, clever, and had royal blood. She also had a heart that wouldn't obey. In defiance of Elizabeth's orders, she married Edward in secret. When the Queen left court for a hunting trip, Catherine slipped away to the Seymour estate. Their union was small and hidden, a candlelit ceremony, a witness, a single night together before Catherine returned to court. What followed was a love that tried desperately to stay quiet, but couldn't. Whispers traveled faster than silence. When Elizabeth discovered the truth, her fury was absolute. Catherine was arrested. Hertford was summoned back and thrown into the Tower of London. Even his mother, once supportive, turned away from them to protect her status. Still, love endured. Catherine gave birth to a son in the Tower, and later, against all odds, to a second child. The guards, moved by their devotion, allowed them secret meetings, even in chains. But the Queen could not be softened. Upon hearing of the second child, she separated them forever, placing miles between them and levying a crushing fine of £15,000, equivalent to millions today. Catherine died in captivity at just 27. Her final plea was for her husband's release. It was never granted. Some say she died of heartbreak, another love, another life stolen by a crown. Could this tragic love story have inspired the dish Run Away with the Spoon? Two hearts that defied a queen, only to be torn apart in their tale. The rhyme becomes more than nonsense. It becomes a memorial. Centuries before the nursery rhyme appeared in its modern form, something familiar danced through English texts, phrases that hinted at a rhyme still being born. In 1569, playwright Thomas Preston wrote a curious line in his play, "They be at hand, sir. With stick and fiddle, they can play a new dance called Hey Diddle Diddle." Was this a literal dance, a body performance, or the first written spark of the rhyme we know today? No one knows for certain, but the timing is suspiciously close. Nearly 30 years later, another line surfaces in Scottish poet Alexander Montgomery's work The Cherry and the Sleigh. He writes, "But since you think it an easy thing to mount above the moon, of your own fiddle take a spring, and dance when you have done." Two phrases appear here, the fiddle and the moon. Coincidence? Possibly, but the imagery is strikingly similar. These early references suggest the rhyme may have grown from performance and entertainment. Perhaps Hey Diddle Diddle wasn't originally a riddle at all, but a song meant for dancing and drinking. Imagine a lively tavern filled with music, mugs clinking, and fiddlers playing beneath candlelight. A cheerful nonsense verse would have fit perfectly into the atmosphere. Over time, the verses might have evolved to rhyme with the music. New lines were added, perhaps to suit the rhythm or to amuse children and adults alike. If that's the case, the cow jumping over the moon may not be a symbol of mystery, but one of absurd joy, a moment of surreal imagery designed to make people smile and clap along. The fiddle was central to tavern life, used in dances, storytelling, and even religious celebrations. In that world, the line "the cat and the fiddle" might simply describe an evening of merriment, a scene of comfort and play. But even if the rhyme started light-hearted, it didn't stay that way. The centuries warped it, layered it, turned laughter into legacy. The beauty of Hey Diddle Diddle is that it dances between two worlds, one of joy and nonsense, and another of hidden history and whispered loss. No one can say for certain where it began, but these early written traces prove one thing: the rhyme wasn't created all at once. It evolved step by step, word by word, just like a dance. And that dance has never stopped. Not all legends are born in palaces. Some rise from kitchens, hearths, and muddy farm roads, spoken by tired hands over firelight. Hey Diddle Diddle may have started not as a riddle, but as a simple list, a survival list. One theory proposes the rhyme reflects the essentials of a poor household: the cat for catching mice, the dog for guarding the door, the cow for milk, the dish and spoon for food, and the fiddle, the rare luxury of music. These weren't just possessions, they were lifelines. In a world without wealth, this rhyme may have cataloged what little a family needed to get by. The act of turning this into a song would have helped children remember what to value, what mattered, what to protect. In this view, Hey Diddle Diddle becomes a nursery rhyme in its purest form, one passed from parent to child not just for fun, but for function. Even the line "the cow jumped over the moon" might be metaphorical. It could represent the far reach of imagination or hope during hardship, that even in poverty, wonder is possible. The dog laughing may be a reminder to keep joy alive, even when life is hard. And the dish and spoon running away? Maybe it's as simple as children playing and knocking over the dinnerware. Or perhaps it's a warning. Don't waste what you have, or it may disappear. Nursery rhymes like this weren't just entertainment. They were tools. They taught morals, memory, and the rhythm of life. And unlike royal scandals or star charts, this interpretation grounds the rhyme in the daily heartbeat of ordinary people. There is beauty in that. Not every story needs kings or secrets to be powerful. Sometimes the power is in what the rhyme chooses to preserve. The warmth of home, the resilience of laughter, and the music of survival. Folklore is fertile ground, and where facts grow thin, imagination takes root. Hey Diddle Diddle has sprouted some truly wild theories, each more bizarre and fascinating than the last. Some connected to ancient Egypt, to Bastet, the feline goddess of music, fertility, and protection. The cat with the fiddle could be a distant echo of her sacred image. Others claim Greek influence, that the cow is Io, leaping across the heavens in bovine form, fleeing the wrath of Hera. The moon, once again, becomes both stage and symbol. But then we spiral back into Tudor England, where truth and legend are often inseparable. Some believe the rhyme is a coded portrait of Queen Elizabeth I's inner court. Elizabeth was famously known as the cat, clever and elusive. Her fiddle, perhaps the royal court itself, something she played to suit her will. The little dog may be Robert Dudley, her rumored lover, and the man she called her lapdog. He was loyal, ambitious, and dangerously close to power. And then, of course, there's the dish and the spoon, two lesser-known members of the Queen's household. Some records suggest the dish was a servant who presented ceremonial food at royal feasts. The spoon, a food taster, a lady assigned to ensure Elizabeth's meals weren't poisoned. Whether by truth or poetic invention, some believe these two fell in love. A romance that had no place in a world governed by the Virgin Queen's strict rules. Their secret affair, it's said, ended in ruin. And perhaps their whispered tragedy lives on, hidden in the last lines of the rhyme. But there's another tale, one darker still. It follows Lady Catherine Grey, Elizabeth's cousin and a threat to the crown. Her secret marriage to Edward Seymour defied royal order and was met with harsh punishment. Their love led to imprisonment, a child born in the Tower of London, and permanent separation. Could the dish and the spoon be them? If so, the rhyme becomes a coded lament. Not a joke, but a memory. Not a dance, but a warning. That love, when forbidden, becomes legend. With all these tales, the farmers, the queens, the dancers, and the dreamers, Hey Diddle Diddle refuses to settle into just one meaning. Maybe that's what makes it last. Some scholars say it's nothing more than whimsical nonsense. That the rhyme is a child's playground of sound meant to amuse, not inform. A verbal kaleidoscope with no hidden code at all. But others believe the opposite. That Hey Diddle Diddle is a mosaic of memory. A patchwork of meanings layered over centuries, each generation adding its own thread. A celestial map, a royal betrayal, a tavern game, a household inventory, a secret love, a warning, a joke, a dance. It could be all of them, or none of them. And that's the spell cast by nursery rhymes. They travel across time, shifting shape, whispering secrets, refusing to die. Even with early references like Thomas Preston's 1569 play or Alexander Montgomery's poetic lines, we can't say for sure how the full rhyme came to be. Printed versions didn't appear until the 18th century. Everything before that is fog, lit only by clues and curiosity. But maybe that's the point. Maybe Hey Diddle Diddle survives because we don't know. Because its mystery invites us to look deeper, ask questions, and wonder like children again. And that's what we do here at the Silent Lodge. If this journey has enchanted you, subscribe to our channel. Join us as we continue exploring riddles from history, folklore, and beyond. Leave a comment and tell us what you believe the rhyme means. Was it love, astronomy, rebellion, or pure nonsense? Your voice is part of this story now. Thank you for venturing into the shadows with us. Until next time, keep asking, keep seeking, and never stop listening to the echoes beneath the rhyme.